Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. I'm Andy Winnig, and I'm really excited to be on this call today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you haven't yet, go ahead and post in the chat box where you're from and what you're most grateful for today. I am super grateful for you giving me about 75 minutes of your time to learn something new. It's something I'm extremely passionate about sharing and teaching, and this is probably the most interesting audience for me to teach it to, because just by being on this call, I can tell that you're interested in taking action and growing your business and career and your brand. So I'm very excited about this. And again, thank you everyone for signing in. Still lots of people leaving comments in the chat box. We got Nigeria, thankful for life. That's great. Christina's calling in from Cambridge, thankful for health. So that's great, everyone. Keep letting us know where you're calling from. That is great. And thanks again for tuning in. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, a lot of these slides. I have a lot of different slides to share, but this is all about, for me, when people say, well, what does trusted advisor really mean? And what does it mean to grow your business from business networking? I'm assuming there are a lot of entrepreneurial types on this webinar right now. So some of you might have jobs or business owners or freelancers, but a lot of entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial-minded individuals. And what I really teach is how to get other people calling you with legitimate opportunities. So how do you use business networking to develop those relationships and the trust so other people promote you and your products and services for you? So my mission, just to tell you a little bit about where I'm coming from. It took me about 7 years, I'm learning, to teach the skills I'm doing today. Joining networking groups, attending networking, very, very few results. And my mission is that it's not going to take you 7 years to learn this stuff, because business networking is fun. It's fun getting to know people, and it's really fun when you can attract and help more clients. So that's my passion, helping other people learn these skills so they can become trusted advisors and attract more of the right people into their business network. And that's really been what business networking is about for me. It allows me to reach a larger audience to serve this mission by teaching people how to develop trust and expand their referral network. So thank you again for joining me today. You made an awesome choice, and it's a free webinar, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did this myself, how I went from no sales and no business networking or business experience to growing 2 businesses on the strength of my trusted advisor relationship. And I'm an engineer by training, so I had that against me. And I had no business experience, which kind of goes along with being an engineer. So I basically figured it all out by accident. What I'm going to be teaching you now, and I'm very excited to do that. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how you can do this for yourself in the next couple of weeks. I mean, yeah, it takes time to develop your network, but there are things you can do. I'm going to share a formula you can put in place and really start seeing results in about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, of course, it does take some time to learn things, minute to learn, lifetime to master. But I don't want you to think you have to wait months to see results from this, because there are things you can do right now, today. And the faster you take action, the quicker you're going to be able to generate the leads that you want, the opportunities that you want, and the results that you want to start bringing in those leads from business networking right now. And again, it doesn't matter what business you're in. I'm going to show you how to do this and how other businesses are doing exactly the same thing to bring lots more clients. And so let's go ahead and dive in. If this sounds exciting to you, if this is information you're interested in, then go ahead and type in the chat box and let me know that you're excited about it, that they're in the right place, and this is what you've been looking for. So just go ahead, type whatever you're thinking in, whatever you're ready, go ahead and type that into the chat box. Great. That's a lot of excited people. Nancy said yes. So here are the proven facts. SCORE. Maybe some of you have heard about them. It's executives, retired executives who volunteer their time to educate small businesses. Do you think they know a thing or two about growing businesses? So I'm getting some comments that people don't have audio, so you need to either dial in on the phone number that shows you there on the screen. You can have, or you need to click on the audio thing at the top middle of your screen to get it through your system. So I have some people who audio is working. So if you don't have audio, go ahead and you need to go ahead and click on that, okay? Sorry. So does SCORE think that networking can be effective for growing a small business? And remember that the skills of the trusted advisor are all business networking skills. If you want to develop trust, the best time to start networking was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. So the score thinks that networking can be effective for growing a small business. Well, of course. And this is interesting as long as people get to know you and come to rely on the quality and professionalism you provide. And what do you think other people conclude about your quality or professionalism if you aren't prepared to answer the most basic business networking questions? Let's turn that around. What do you think people think of someone who can clearly and concisely say what they do? It's instant trust, instant stature. So that's the first step to becoming a trusted advisor. Master your elevator pitch. Think about it. People who can help with your success are there at these networking events, and their first impression of your professionalism is your elevator pitch. So what does your elevator pitch say about your quality and professionalism? So Dr. Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI. Now, I don't know if anyone on the call is part of a BNI chapter. BNI is funny because they are so successful that everyone hates them, literally. Even some of their most productive members. Because anyone who's starting a networking group, they can't wait to tell you how different their networking group will be from BNI. But if you're only going to be like BNI in one way, make it the tens of thousands of dollars a month in referrals that they pass between their members. Whether you love BNI or hate them, Dr. Ivan Meisner knows a thing or two about networking. And according to Dr. Ivan Meisner, what is the secret to getting more business through business networking? Time, which is interesting because the number one business networking challenge people tell me they have is, you guessed it, not enough time. So according to Dr. Meisner, the people who spend 2 hours a week networking don't get too much benefit from networking, but spend 6.5 hours a week networking. That's about 16% of your time if you're only working a 40-hour week. So people who spend 16% of their time, on average, generate 50% of their business from networking. Now, part of the benefit you get from BNI is learning their approach to elevator pitches, one-on-ones, professional referrals, partnerships, whatever. They have a whole system. What throws people off, what people find confusing and off-putting about BNI is that it's expensive up front, both with time and money, to get into and learn their system before you start seeing the results. And as I said, today is about learning a new formula for doing this much more quickly and inexpensively. So what is business networking anyway? It's developing relationships, trusted relationships. And back to Dr. Meisner again, it's about more than showing up and shaking hands. He recommends doing something specific each week that's focused on networking for business growth. And that's what this program is about. Remember, you only need 6.5 hours a week. So what can we do each week to keep this business growth going? Now, why do we need to learn this? Well, Harvey McKay wrote several books. One of the best is Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And he has a couple of great quotes in here. The first is, up the proverbial creek, if you've got a network, you've always got a paddle. Isn't that the truth? I mean, when people who take and return your calls, you can move mountains. And so his next quote, like any new behavior, the more you practice the skills of networking, the easier it gets. Now, why is that important? Well, I went to meetup.com the other day, and Meetup is in-person networking, and look what I pulled up. Events start 6 in the morning. They go on until after 8 o'clock at night. And look at these numbers, 41, 66, 134 people. That's a lot of people. I mean, get a strong elevator pitch in front of those people, and you will have some leads. Then what? How do you take that and develop trust? Okay, I want to share with you a story. We're going to go into the really fun part here. So I'm going to request that you, before I get into the story, I'm going to request that you put your phone down. I know there are probably many of you are kind of have it in your hand, so flip it over, put it aside. I want you to shut down any other windows and blow this window, blow up the screen so it's a full screen. I'm going to share some very interesting information over the next 60 minutes or so, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because I've got a lot to share, a lot of slides, and I want to get you as much as I can in a short amount of time. My request is that you stay on and stay committed until the very end, because I want to make sure I get you all this information. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give away a bonus to someone we're in this interactive program. I want to make sure you get as much out of it as possible. So at the end of the webinar, I'm going to give away a half-hour coaching call with me. That's about $175 value just for participating in the chat box today and putting in some great comments about this material. So again, at the end of this program, I'll pick the person who was most involved, had the best comments. So it's not just about posting once, and it's not about posting about the weather or what you had for lunch or me chewing other people's comments. It's about mastering the skills of a trusted advisor, really using these techniques and coming up with something that's authentically you and will bring you more leads. So what do all great business networking stories start with? I met someone. I met someone who has generated over $2,500 for my business so far without ever becoming a customer. We'll call this guy Steve because, well, that's his name. He's a Jewish guy like me who, like me, loves a delicatessen named Zoftig. So we sit down in Natick for a one-on-one. And it's a blast talking to this guy. Fun, funny, very personable, fellow entrepreneur like me, owns a couple of businesses. And that's where the one-on-one gets interesting, almost. He's a promotional products guy, just like a lot of people you may know. And when he hears about my second business, he mentions his. He has this product for car dealerships. And my window cleaning business does a lot of work with local car dealerships. Turns out the car dealerships are a great referral for him. So do I send him over all my contacts? No, I do nothing. I don't really know this guy yet, and I'm not really ready to share my best customers with him. So I let it sit. We follow up with each other occasionally over the next several months, using some of the techniques that I'll talk about here in a second. Nothing pushy, just checking in and sharing successes. Like I said, I like the guy, don't mind hearing from him, and then it happens. Call it serendipity, but I just call it business networking. Actually, I call it opportunity spotting, but more about that when I get to the content here in a second. So I'm doing a presentation for a networking group, and the owner of one of these car dealerships is in the audience. So I do the presentation, then approach him afterwards. I tell him a little bit about Steve and say, I think it could be a good connection. He agrees, then tells me that he wants to follow up with me. Long story short, this car dealership guy hires me to coach his sales team and then signs up with Steve for the massage chairs for his waiting room for his service department. And that was a real aha moment for me, the power of business networking. I approached someone, this car dealership owner, with something for him, a referral that I thought would benefit him, and it turned into a sale for me. Would I have signed it up if I hadn't approached him that day? I don't think so. But I'll tell you, I look for any excuse to approach people at any time. I'm always looking for reasons not having to do with me to start talking with them. And that's easier to do when you have a strong business network, when you've got stuff going in your business network and the opportunities that flow through that business network. So the next time someone tells you that business networking takes time, it's true. It took me 9 months to get the opportunity to make this connection. It takes time to develop trust. Now, I can't guarantee that you'll get thousands of dollars in business from every one-on-one, but I'll share with you in a second how quickly you can develop trust when you use these skills that we're talking about today. Yes, the faster you take action, the quicker you're going to be able to get the leads you want from the people that you already know and the networking events you're already attending. And I'm super pumped to show you how it works. So I'm going to go over the agenda really quickly now. Then I'm going to keep diving into this information because I'm going to share with you exactly how to do this in a little bit. So I'm going to go into my story, a little bit about how I get into becoming a trusted advisor. I know I just shared a story about a particular powerful result, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got into it. Then I'm going to give you examples of about three or four people who are becoming trusted advisors. Most of them are sales managers, solo entrepreneurs. They don't have a lot of time. They need to get as much as they can out of each and every event. So they're all in different industries. Then we're going to talk about how trusted advisors get results from networking events. So a quick show of hands now. How many people expect to get leads out of every event they attend, and how many actually do get leads? So in the chat box, just put in yes, yes, or yes, no, or no, no. Just kind of let me know whether you're expecting leads or not leads. So just let me know now in the chat box. Yes, 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 no. Do you expect to get leads, and do you get leads when you go out to networking events? Just go ahead and type that into the chat box. No, 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 yes, yes, no, no. Great. Great. Yeah, yes, no, yes, yes, no. Okay. So you don't get leads every time, but sometimes people do get leads. So some of you already understand the value of becoming a trusted advisor, and you're already doing extremely well, and that's awesome. And hopefully I can teach you some new stuff so you can develop even more trust and work with more people and leverage your time even better. So the next part of the agenda is the 5-step Trusted Advisor Networking System. The 5-step Trusted Advisor Networking System, this is the main content, going over exactly what's involved in the process of becoming a trusted advisor. Okay. There's a lot that's involved with trusted advisors. A lot that happens behind the scenes because you have to choose the event, put it in your calendar, print out directions or put it in your GPS. You need to make sure you have business cards and that you eat beforehand. And that doesn't include, the networking groups that you're part of, the chambers or BNIs or groups like that. Then there's the trusted advisor process, which I actually do at the event or the meeting. Then there's the third part, which is the follow-up process. You can't develop trust instantly, so that all happens after the event or the meeting. And so you have to develop these relationships because you never close work at the event. You have to have a real solid system for follow-up. So there's really 3 parts to becoming a trusted advisor, and I'm going to be sharing with you the middle part today. The skills you want to learn to develop that trust, the steps you take to develop that trust so people will call you back. We'll be learning that during the webinar. And at the very end of the training, I'll be showing you how you can take the whole package. We've got an advanced training for those who are interested in signing up in becoming a trusted advisor. So you can take what I give you now and apply it, get better results. You can also get the whole thing with the advanced training. So we'll be talking about that, how to really take it to the next level, And then I'll do a Q&A at the end. For about 15 minutes, we'll go over questions. Any questions, you can feel free to ask them by email or whatever, but I'll answer as many questions as I can on the call. And then we'll do the bonus giveaway. I just said the 30-minute call with me. So whoever interacts best in the chat box is going to get that call. So make sure you're taking good notes and participate in the chat box. And again, I'm going to wait till the very end so we can get the most interaction possible. So keep chatting about the content, about this webinar, and because you only have one chat, then you're not going to be chosen. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready? So the first part of the agenda, a little about me. I'm going to fly through this because I want to get to the content here in a second. So for those of you that don't know me, I want to talk about this for a quick second. A little bit about me. So back in 2001, I was living the dream. I was being paid 6 figures and great stock options at a web startup called Informio. I was being paid to develop highly reliable telephony software systems that could handle thousands of simultaneous callers in every major city across the country. I was on the fast track to being a VP of engineering when one day, 14 years ago last Friday actually, it all came crumbling down, literally. 2 planes flew into the Twin Towers in New York, and IT spending dried up. Our venture capitalists pulled back their funding, and on January 1st, 2002, I was unemployed for the first time in my 15-year computer career. There were no computer jobs, and I had a very strong motivation for wanting to find a way to make money. I did not want to move back in with my parents. So I started looking for a different career, and long story short, I bought another franchise called Fish Window Cleaning. This is me, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in May of 2002 when I start my window cleaning business. And I spent the next year and a half doing everything: cleaning, selling, hiring, payroll, collections. I was the original man with many hats. And one day, I meet a guy named Tom Vance. Tom was the membership director at the Chamber of Commerce in Cambridge the day I walked in to sell them window cleaning. I walked out with a chamber membership and a new customer. And as I cleaned the chamber windows that first time, Tom approached me about a new idea he had to start up networking groups under the umbrella of the chamber. I spent the next 3 years working closely with Tom on his networking group, coming up with ideas, trying them out, keeping what worked, mastering the whole process. The process of developing relationships that lead to sales. I was part of a bunch of other groups as well, meeting people, practicing my skills, getting better at developing trust. And one day, this was back in 2006, I introduced the guy who runs my window cleaning business to my networking group. And that's when I started networking for this business, for Improv Andy. Now, I know that networking works, but the thing is, it's easy to overlook just how well it's working. I realized one day that that group of people I met 11 years ago through Tom Vance account for over $75,000 in sales for my window cleaning business every year. Now, I'm not saying that networking is the only reason that my business is going to top $750,000 in revenue this year, but those referrals, it's not much work to close those sales. And here's the real kicker. Earlier this year, I got a call from a woman who I met over 3 years ago. She had joined a new networking group and wanted me to come and speak to her group. There was no one else in the running. I gave her a price and did the job. And that job led to another job and another and another. That's trusted advisor selling. People call you at the right time for them. It's a fun way to grow a business. And I realized that other people are prospecting for me. I don't have to make all the contacts. People start bringing leads to me, and I bring leads to them, and those are the easiest leads to close. So I'm an engineer turned entrepreneur. I don't clean windows anymore. I spend 5 to 7 hours a week on my window cleaning business, and the rest of the time I coach other business owners. I give presentations, I develop training programs, I write books. I've been up for Small Business of the Year and Franchisee of the Awards. I've won sales awards and inspiration awards. I've been on the radio and on TV. I even hosted a few shows. But here's the thing that I'm most excited about, most passionate about. What becoming a trusted advisor has done for me, it allows me the freedom to do what I want. So for me, I want to be able to chase my dreams and live them, not just talk about them. I want to be able to pursue them on a daily basis and do what fills me up energetically. So I spent 3 full weeks at the beach this summer with my family, which doesn't include our Disney World vacation back in April or a trip to Storyland that's coming up in a few weeks. And I play basketball in a local league, and I go downhill skiing as often as I can, and this fills me up. The opportunity to know that I have my business in place, that it's running in the back end, that I have passive income coming in, and networking is supporting that I can play the piano and travel and do what I want with my family. So it's a very powerful experience for me to be able to do that. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way, that they want to run their business not 15 to 20 hours a day and work really hard at it, but set up the system so that you can leverage the tools to save you time. And that's really what networking has done for me. I kind of, again, stumbled into it, because someone gave me an opportunity to join a group. And I took it and I ran with it. And it's given me everything else that I want to do. I feel so blessed and so grateful every day. I don't take any of this for granted. So enough about my story. I probably went on for a little bit too long, but I wanted to give people a little example of kind of who I am and what I've created so that I'm a guy with no business or sales experience who got laid off. And if I can do this stuff and chase my dreams at the same time, travel the world, everyone here who's extremely intelligent, who's got the experience, who's got the drive as well, I know you can do this equally as well, if not better. Okay. So you just got to have the right system. You got to take the right action. So it's my goal to share with you the system right now. And then you got to be committed to taking the action, because if you just think about it, it's not going to happen. So here's the thing about networking. I took a couple of screenshots from emails over the past couple of days. Here's a meetup. Here's a side professional consultant. Someone may have heard of them. The pitch party, that seems like it's right up my alley. Here at Chamber of Commerce, so we did for a bunch of events. These are all sent within a few days. And so I get networking things constantly, and some of you may as well. And so can anyone tell me, why are so many people networking? Let's just get an idea. Go ahead and type in the chat box. Why are there so many networking events? Go ahead and type that into the chat box. Yep, because they work, right? Because they're fun, right? Because people can grow their business. Yep. What else, folks? What else? Why do people think there's so many networking events going on? The key to making connections for business. Yep. Harder to find customers, and this helps. Yep, absolutely. It's the thing to do. Yep, that's the thing to do. And yes, that is the whole thing. That is the whole thing. So it works. It's worked. Well, and someone just said, Christina, thanks. People know networking is important, but it's hard to force ourselves to do it. And we're going to be talking about that in just a minute. Where you're no longer going to have to force yourself. When you learn some of these skills, you're actually going to look for it. Judith, networking and target interests of mutual interest. That's right. That's exactly what we're doing with all this. So it works, and it won't go out of style, even for people who aren't very good at it. And I just find it tough when I see people not being successful, because with just a couple of skills, you can really make things better. And I got a great question from Jenny. Jenny, thank you. Hard finding the networking events that fit in my industry. And we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes, how to solve that once and for all, that you actually don't really need to worry about that at all. The industry, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to talk about that in just a couple of minutes. So business networking can bring you a lot of qualified leads. And I'm going to share some case studies of people who've been networking, and they were doing okay. But now that they've cleaned up their elevator pitch and know these skills, they get a lot more and better leads. It works. And so that's why this is the great time to jump in and start networking now. And I'm not talking about 6 months down the line. I'm talking like the next networking event you're planning to attend, the one early next week, the one you're thinking about. So go ahead and apply what you're learning from today. It works, and it'll generate profits. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And when you know what to do, it's fun. You don't have to force yourself to do anything. So I'm going to share some 3 case studies of average, ordinary people who are creating really cool results from business networking. Kind of go through this pretty quickly because I want to get to the content here in just a second. So Jack's a buddy of mine. I met him years ago through a bunch of different networking events. And his dad is a master relationship builder using a Rolodex. Remember that physical thing full of paper that sat on people's desks? So Jack has all this sales experience and background, but his networking results weren't that impressive. So I finally convinced him to sit down for my 2-hour elevator pitch complete coaching program. He tried out his new pitch, and here's what he had to say. I gave my new 30-second elevator pitch at a networking event the other night, and 2 people approached me afterwards to invite me to do a presentation for their company. Thanks for your help. That's where the conversations start, right? It's the value of the elevator pitch, so you can start building that relationship, start building that trust. So let's talk about Ann. Ann's in one of the most difficult to differentiate industries. She's website design. You probably know a few people who are doing this. So Ann took me up on a coaching offer for one of my keynote speeches. We worked on a new pitch, and this was really exciting for me because one of the top questions I get is, how do I find better events? Right, and prove that there are no bad events. And this is what happens when you know what you're doing. I was at a networking event the other night. It wasn't a great event, but I was sitting next to a business coach who now wants to meet with me to learn how I can help her clients. Then I was talking to someone in the hall who knows someone who's a perfect referral for me. It works. Then there's Craig. Craig's in an even tougher industry, insurance. I mean, how many of these guys do you meet at each chamber event? And he'd been around for a while and been very successful, which meant I was even more surprised when he told me the benefit he got from his pitch. In my 31 years in business, I've had maybe 2 people ask a clarifying question after hearing my old elevator pitch. Since working with you, I've tripled that number in less than a week. Here's a guy who's networking all the time and never starting conversation. No idea that he was supposed to, right? No idea that that's the whole point of networking, is starting these conversations. Okay, so Liz. Liz is my favorite story because Liz, a shy, introverted scientist with no business network, has gone and learned and applied these 5 skills, and in under 2 years, she went from 0 contacts to a strong referral network that brings in investors, mentors, employees, anything and everything she needs to be successful. And so here's how she tells it. I was terrified of networking. As an introvert, I found it difficult to enter a room full of strangers and break into conversation. I struggled to find anything interesting to say. Anyone else going through that? She continues. Now I embrace networking in a completely different way. And that's what happens when you learn these 5 skills. Take on a whole new mindset. Back to Liz, my focus shifted away from selling and towards getting to know people. I'm amazed at how much more relaxed and open I am, how much more natural the conversations are, and how I actually look forward to networking events. Look at that. She changed the way she thinks about it, and now she's looking forward to networking events. Why? I found that I was creating a stronger network of colleagues who were eager to reciprocate when the opportunity presented itself. Over the last few months, I've been amazed by how many opportunities have opened up for me as a result. This is the holy grail of networking, folks. You pick up the phone and call people. Liz did that for a biotech startup she was consulting for. They were looking for money. So she called her VC people that she knew, and she lined up 4 appointments for them immediately. 8 months earlier, that would have been impossible, where she wouldn't have known where to start. But now imagine having that kind of security. You can just pick up the phone and find money through new clients or investors or jobs. So would anyone here leave a question in the comment box if you'd like to be one of these success stories in the future? Start expanding your network so opportunities just fall into your lap. So you can just pick up the phone and find a new client or job or career. If you're interested in that type of game, in that type of business, in being successful, a success story that I can be in the future, go ahead and type in the chat box if you would. Great, I'm seeing definitely, yes, of course, who wouldn't? Thanks, Kimberly. Yep, that's excellent. For sure. I want it all. Anthony, how do you find people who can trust? And you know what, we'll talk about that in the advanced training, so we'll get to that toward the end here. Oh yeah, for sure, yes, definitely. Excellent. I'm glad that you're so engaged and so excited about this. So hopefully you've been taking notes, getting ready to interact in the chat box, because we're going to do that giveaway towards the end. So we're going to the next part of the content. The next part of the agenda is how trusted advisors get results from networking events. So here's the formula. Hopefully you're taking lots of notes. This is the really fun part. But this is the cool, fun part about networking, because you can really start to gauge how many sales you're going to do because you know the averages and the numbers. So I'm going to give you the averages if you already have networking events to attend, because I'm assuming a lot of people are doing some of this already. And this is kind of based on averages. So, you know, don't say, I went to my first event and it was or wasn't like this. Although this is what I've seen happen for other people around these averages. You know, some a little better, some a little worse, but these are about the averages. So let's assume you're going to that with 40 people. It may be 15, it may be 150. I'm just going to say for now it's 40. When your elevator pitch has a strong call to action, something I'll be talking about more in the advanced training, you can expect about 7% of people will approach you with a legitimate lead for you. So that's 3 people who will prospect. Also, in the advanced training, I'll teach you how to pick 3 non-prospects to follow up with as well. When you have a one-on-one with them, you can pick between 2 of them, you'll get 3 more prospects to talk to. So that's 6 prospects total. And a kind of typical sales average is 16.7% of prospects will buy. So then ask yourself, what is the price of your product? $500? When you use the skills you learn here, you will make a sale from each event. It probably won't be that week. And it probably won't be to someone who is at that event. It's someone who knew someone, who knew someone, who knew someone. So the really interesting question is, what is the lifetime value of that client? Because they'll buy other products and services. They'll refer you to other clients. So is their value $10,000? Is it $100,000? Is it more? And so it's pretty cool. I mean, you try to figure out the math. Once you know how many events you're attending and how many people are at each event, you can start to kind of, you know, that's the fun part, is figure out, okay, cool. I just need to find the right events, which again, I will talk about today, and I teach fully in the advanced training how to create more opportunities when you talk to people. I become a better networker. I deliver more value, help people solve their problems. So that, you know, it can be in the form of service or product or coaching or an app or someone you can introduce them to, right, whatever it may be. And once you have leads, you're in your wheelhouse, right? I mean, if someone says, hey, I'm interested in your stuff, let's talk about it, you'll probably close more than 1 in 6 of those, right? I mean, I would hope so anyway. And that's the great part about business networking. Developing relationships takes time. The person you meet today may close in a month or 3 or 9, which is why it's so important to have a follow-up system and keep meeting people. So now let's get to the next step in the presentation. It's a lot of juicy, good stuff here. Make sure you're taking lots of notes. So this is the 5-step trusted advisor networking system. All right. This is it. This is the good stuff. I'm going to be giving you the formula right now. And I really urge you to take down notes on this. Put your thoughts into the chat box, because I'm kind of going to go through it quickly. But before I do that, I'm going to take a quick sip of water and be flying through this. So just hang on 1 second. Are you ready? Okay. For the formula, the 5 skills apply to any kind of networking event and developing any kind of business relationship. They flow naturally together to show you as trustworthy and to show you how much you can trust other people. Those skills are the elevator pitch, follow-up, one-on-ones, referrals, professional referrals, and opportunity spotting. Let's start with the elevator pitch. Most people think their elevator pitch is about proving their expertise. and they're wrong. The elevator pitch is for starting conversation, and there are two ways to start a conversation. You can talk to one person at a time. I call this the conversational elevator pitch, or introducing yourself to a crowd. This is what people usually mean when they talk about the 30-second elevator pitch. It gets leads when you're in front of a crowd. And the biggest mistake people make is using this formal pitch when they're talking to one person, because responding to any kind of in-person question with any kind of rehearsed speech is, well, awkward. So you've got to know which pitch to use when. So your answer to what do you do is different from your 30-second elevator pitch. Your 30-second elevator pitch can be about 4 sentences long, and your answer to what do you do should be about 7 words. And actually, that's a great exercise. A better answer to what do you do, 7 words. So I encourage you, just take a minute while I'm talking. Don't think too hard. Just 7 words. What do you do in 7 words? Just go ahead and type that into the chat box and send it all over, because this is actually a great quick exercise for getting better at your elevator pitch. Just the thing of coming up with 7 words. So I'm gonna give you just a second to come up with that. Throw something into the chat box. It's a great exercise for improving your elevator pitch. Go ahead and do that now. What 7 words describe what you do? Yeah, so you guys are getting it. These are great already. I'm a cell and molecular biology researcher. Great. I assist business associates maintaining HIPAA compliance. Great. I assist customers with quality products and support. Great. Development of marketing strategies, brand management. Great. So for those last 2, the thing I'd encourage you, and again, if you go for the advanced training, this is something I really hammer home, is that you want to be very specific. So assist customers with quality products. What do you mean by quality? What do you mean by products? Like, it's better if you can kind of set it in, products. You could be selling cars. You could be selling trips to the moon. You could be selling all sorts of things. So if you can anchor it a little bit more, that's easier. And then BJ, development of marketing strategies, brand management. What do you mean by brand management? What do you mean by marketing strategy? Are you doing email marketing? Are you doing print marketing? Are you doing online marketing, pay-per-click, right? There's so much stuff that we can do. If there's something in particular that you like to do, that's good. And Tom, good to see you on the call. I make integral projects go smoothly. I make biotech systems work smoothly. Thank you for doing that in real time, figuring out what it is that you wanted to say. So this is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing we're talking about. When you stand up in front of a crowd, you're one of many giving one pitch after the other. So you have to give people a good reason to want to come up afterwards and introduce themselves. You need a strong call to action. And remember that the goal in both cases is to start a conversation, whether you're talking to one person or a whole room full of people. Success is when people ask you questions or tell you stories. Remember Craig? 2 questions in 31 years? Now he's getting 6 questions a week. Now he gets it. Now he's starting conversations. So the next skill, follow-up. Now, if you're concerned that you're being annoying when you follow up, you probably are, for one very simple reason. You're following up about you. Have you read my proposal? Have you looked through your list of contacts? Have you be a good proposal for me? Me. It's annoying. The key to following up is to follow up about them. What is about them? So I walked into a store on the first day, and literally it was her first day in business. She was nice enough, but she didn't have any money yet, so she wasn't buying anything. But later that week, I saw her picture in the paper, big picture of her great article on her new business. So I cut it out and snail mailed it to her. A year later, she recognized me when I walked in the door again. You're the one who sent me that article. She signed up on the spot. So I taught one client this technique, and she talked herself out of it. Well, they probably already saw the article. She had all these reasons. Well, it's been too long, and they probably already saw the article. And so she had all these reasons. She was talking herself out of doing this. And I said, so what? Think about it. If your picture's in the paper, you need copies for your mom, your lawyer, your kids, your done good folder, right? Your desk at home, your desk at work. When do you get tired of getting pictures of yourself in the mail? So when you see it, clip it, put it in an envelope, address it, stamp it, put it in the mail. This is what follow-up is. It's following up about them. And you can send newsletters, anything that's not written by or about you, it has to be by or about them. And yes, you can send people articles they wrote. I saw this and thought of you. And when you don't mention your business, I saw this and thought of you. I hope things are well. People will remember. So follow-up has to be about them. And when you make it about them, they will respond in terms of you. So I got a great question from Kathleen. How do I continue the conversation to close the business? Get in touch with something about them. That's how you get their attention. That's how you develop trust. Start with something they want to talk about. I had a prospect disappear once. I don't know if this ever happened to any of you, but we were talking about something, and then I started sending emails and phone calls and no response. Anyone else familiar with that? So I sent her an article saying, hey, you don't seem like much of an introvert, but I thought you might enjoy this article. And the article was on networking for introverts. She responded within the hour. I was one of the 2 finalists, and they were making a decision within the week. When you follow up about you, they won't respond. But if you follow up about them, they will respond about you. So 2 skills down: elevator pitch, follow up. Here comes the 3rd skill: one-on-ones. Trusted advisors realize that the biggest opportunities at networking events are with non-prospects. That's so important. Maybe the most important thing I'm going to say today, that I'm going to say it for you again. The best opportunities at networking events are with non-prospects. Now, if you do happen to run into a prospect, someone with a budget and an immediate urgent problem that you can solve, stop networking. Set up a sales meeting for tomorrow or later this afternoon, whenever. The sooner the better. But after the event, then go back to networking with other people, because you don't want to spend all your time with that prospect when there may be others close by. So most people are comfortable setting up sales meetings with prospects. That makes sense. What do you do with non-prospects? One-on-ones. Sit down for coffee. Get to learn and know about each other. I've got a great question from Tom. My problem is not about helpful discussions, but developing it into something that hooks them. Yes, Tom, we're going to talk about that a lot more. I talk about that a lot in the advanced training. I'll talk about it a lot more. The quick thing is that the interesting thing, you're looking for people who have shared interests with you. Like that's the key. You want people who have shared, and everyone will not share interests. A lot of people spend a lot of time, how am I going to get this person interested? How am I going to get this person interested? And a much more effective approach is to keep meeting people until you find someone who's interesting. And in fact, I had a client. I was talking to one of my clients earlier this week. She's actually looking for a job right now, and she's got a lot of referrals coming in. She's got a great network, a lot of referrals coming in. And she said, she said there are 2 kinds of people. She said the people who don't think I can do this kind of work, and the people who think that I can. She said, so I guess I have a choice. I can work with people who don't think I can do the work, or I can work with people who do think I can do the work. And I said, yeah, that is the decision. And you know what? Business networking is the same thing. You can keep beating your head against people who don't get it or who aren't really connected, or you can kind of let go of them and go find other people who are interested. So the problem usually isn't that other people aren't interested. The problem is that you're hanging on to them too much and not attending more events and meeting more people, right? If you're kind of stuck with the people that you've got and trying to turn them into something, that's backwards. What you want to be doing is meeting more people, starting conversations in the way we're talking about, and those conversations naturally develop into opportunities. So, Tom, again, thank you for a great question. So, again, you're looking to get to know, you're sitting down for coffee, get to know them and your business. This is business networking. And you know what? If you're in a networking group, set up 2 one-on-ones between meetings. That's when all the magic happens. That's the real work of networking. I mean, seeing people for an hour every other week doesn't mean that you know them. You have to sit down and talk to them. You have to sit down and get to know them. And what do you do once you've had a one-on-one with everyone? Start again. Every 4 to 6 months you can sit down with people. They have new clients, new products, new relationships. Some of my best opportunities have come from the 6th, 7th, 12th one-on-ones. So one-on-ones develop trust. And you won't end up meeting with everyone. This goes back to what Tom was just saying, right? I mean, you will reach out. The stats I tell you, if you reach out to 3 people for a one-on-one, 1 or 2 of them will get back to you, right? You reach out to 3 people, you expect of 3, 1 or 2 will get back. And this happens. I do this at all the networking events I go to, and it's always true. Like, all 3 people never respond to me. You pick 3 people, and all of them do not respond. And that's okay. Part of what you're learning is who will respond, who is willing to get together, who is willing to talk to your services. So that's really, if somebody won't return your call about a one-on-one, they won't respond to requests for help, and they won't follow up with any referrals that you send them. So set up one-on-ones. Sit down for coffee with the people who respond. This is the most powerful, least understood skill. And Kimberly just sent in a good thing. Network with people who want your services, right? Yes, and the way you find people who want your services is by finding people you like talking to and can talk to and can get to know, right? Everyone's like, where are my prospects? But you know what, folks? You're looking for non-prospects because getting to trust people takes time. You got to have a lot of conversations with these people. So you might as well like them, right? You might as well find a group of people that you end up liking. That's really how it goes. And so once you get this, you don't even have to master it. Once you just start sitting down for people, you'll see a dramatic jump in your results across all networking channels. If you take only one thing away from today, pick 2 people, 2 non-prospects, and take them out for coffee. That's the path to becoming a trusted advisor. Tom, can you do one-on-ones at meetings, not necessarily networking events? Well, you know, Tom, I've been in networking groups where they set aside time within the group to do one-on-ones, and as long as you have a good 10 or 15 minutes to talk to someone, that's fine. But I don't think that takes the place of meeting people outside. You know, it was one of those things. I was on the outside for years. You know, Tom, I met through the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce, and for years I felt like an outsider of the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce. And then I finally realized that I was dutifully attending all the events and the meetings, but I wasn't talking to anybody outside of that. You know, as though seeing someone in a group is going to let you get to know them. And that's the thing, too. I mean, you sit down for a 45-minute one-on-one. That doesn't tell you everything about that person. I mean, you sit down with someone for 45 minutes, do they know everything about you? I don't think so. And so that's really why it takes multiple. It takes multiple, and that's what people don't get about business networking. Right? Business networking is about finding people that you know and trust, and they may or may not be your prospects. Usually they're not. Usually they're just people that you know and trust. You get to know and trust, and you're always looking for new people. You're always looking to add people to this network. So that's really what the one-on-ones. Jetty, it can take me 2 years to get to know someone. Yes, Jetty, that's why the best time to start was 5 years ago, but the second best time is today. And it's the kind of thing that once you start getting to know people, I mean, I've got a bunch of people now that I've known for the past 10 years, and that's wonderful. And I'm continuing to get to know new people, right? You just keep adding on to it. And that's the thing. The trusted advisor is people that you've known for years, right? If you look at the best referrals that I make, and I'll have an example of that coming up in a little while, that's where it comes from. It comes from people that I've just known for a long time. I know them and I trust them. I understand who they are and what they can do, and that's really when you get into this magical place. So, okay, 4th skill, professional referrals. So what's the worst kind of referral? Hey, I gave your name and contact information to someone. The truth is, they're not going to call. And the frustrating thing is that there's nothing you can do about it. Right? When someone says this to me, I just kind of seethe inside because it's not a referral, right? It's kind of like a tease. Hey, I was talking about you and I just kind of gave your information. And I don't know about anyone else, but I have never gotten a call when anyone said that. So that's not a professional referral anyway. So professional referral is contacting both people, getting permission for the introduction, and then sending a co-introductory email introducing the 2 people together and sharing their contact information all at once. So people with co-introductory emails connect over 90% of the time. It's a little more work. That's what makes it work. So you just put together an email, a little bit about each person and why you're connecting them, and then their contact information. And in the advanced training, I offer exact word-for-word email scripts how to do this. You don't want to have to make one up. So that's referral. And then the 5th and final skill, opportunity spotting. My client, Ann, was a good example of this. She went to a bad event and made 2 great connections. Now, by definition, any networking event where you make 2 connections is a good event. She just wasn't seeing the opportunity, and she didn't see it as an opportunity, right? Even the ones that bonked her on the head. And as she gets better at this skill, she'll notice more and more opportunities in each and every event. And that's a lot of what I offer in the advanced training, this mindset of, I can guarantee that at any networking event there are opportunities there. They don't look like what you expect. And a lot of the coaching that I do with people is we talk about the event and look at the opportunities that were at that event that they missed. Like they'll talk about who they met and who they talked to, and everyone kind of focuses in. We've been trained kind of from childhood to focus on something that doesn't help us get better results from business networking. But part of the work that I do with people, and a lot of what you get out of this advanced training, is training your mind so that you see those opportunities, so you suddenly understand what is going on at each networking event that you can tap into, and it's there every time. Like I have people like Ann come back to me and say, it's a terrible event. By the time we're done talking, there's 3 or 4 things they can follow up on that are really legitimate things they can do. And so imagine for yourself, those of you, I know there've been some comments about, I go to events, I got to try to get myself to an event. I mean, once you understand how to get results out of the event, you go to as many events as you can because that's where you get your business from, right? That's how business comes in. So, and it's different because no sales will close, no angels will sing, right? When you're at a networking event, you don't know that anything's going on. You just know that conversations have started, and that's where the opportunity starts. So I've got another question I'll take just for a second here. Sometimes it seems like everyone has too many similarities, like everyone at the networking event is looking for a science job. How can we help each other? Well, again, your goal isn't to help everyone who's at the networking event. Your job is to go to the networking event to find people that you enjoy talking to. And again, this is something that I talk about in depth in the advanced training, that you're looking to find the people you like networking with. The thought you're going to go to an event and someone's going to ask for a job and you're going to have a job right there for them, that's kind of a pipe dream. I mean, that networking doesn't really work that way. What happens is you go to an event like this, you meet a couple of people that you like, you sit down with them, you learn about them, and as you get to know them, then you from someone else that you're getting to know well, you find an opportunity like, hey, this is a good match. So that is more the way those matches work up. It's not like you meet someone and you have something in your back pocket you can pull out. You meet people. It takes a little while to get to know them. And this, folks, is why you want to start networking before you lose your job, right? Like this client that I talked about just now, she's looking for a job. She's got a lot of opportunities because she built her network beforehand. And when she lost her job, she called up 4 people, and she got 6 opportunities right off the bat. And she's a CEO level person, so she's kind of picking through them to figure out which one she wants. But the opportunities were there because she had developed that trust, because there were people that she could call and they would return her call. And so again, Christina, I appreciate your question. People at the events do have similarities. What you're looking for are the people that you connect with, and when you connect with people, when you connect with a bunch of people, you'll start making connections among those people. So again, the goal of going to an event to match people up with jobs doesn't really, it's hard for that to, statistically, it's just hard for that to work. It's really hard for that to work. And BJ, great question. How do you develop a good elevator pitch? I gave you some of the keys just a couple of minutes ago with the 7 words and not mistaking the 30-second pitch for the conversational pitch. But the way I take you through this advanced training I'll talk about in a second, take you through it from start to finish. That's where the good elevator pitch comes from. So thanks for the question. So now I want to ask an important question. So go ahead and put your pen and paper down. Leave it in front of you. I want you to type something into the chat box. So put your pen down. And you're probably scribbling lots of notes, and that's great. My question for you is, to practice what we're learning here, my question for you is, what is the most surprising or valuable thing you just learned? So I love doing webinars to put the fun back in business networking. It's supposed to be fun, folks. I've been in front of over 1,000 people in the past 5 years, in person and on webinars, and over 20,000 people have used my online software tool to improve their elevator pitch and networking results. And this is what I love to do. So that's what I've learned. So let's take a look at what you've learned. So go ahead, type into the chat box now. What is the most surprising, valuable thing that you've learned today? Go ahead and type it. Of the things you've been talking about, what's the thing you did? Great, 3 kinds of elevator pitches. Thank you. It helped me put the direction of my business. Great. Follow-up, I always thought this should be about your business. The fact that it's not about your business is quite insightful. Great, great. Thanks. What else did people learn? Keep them coming. I had 2 referrals for a prospect, and they said to use their names. I didn't. The prospect told me off. Yep. Yeah. Now that's right. Thank you, Jetty. That's right. That's why. That's professional referrals. That's why. And again, I tell you the whole process. I give you the full process and the full script, everything you need to do that in the advanced training. Helping people, sending interesting articles. Yep. Enjoy talking to, not following up the way I should. Yeah, but I'm not following up the way I should. Great, great, great. Okay, good. So, very, very cool stuff. Great. Lots of amazing things. You got to doing great work on this. So now, what would it be like? One more question I'd like you to answer. What will it be like for you when you're a trusted advisor? When your phone calls get returned? When you can confidently refer your best customers to the perfect person to solve their problem? When you're not constantly stressing about how much you are or aren't networking, and new customers are finding you rather than you having to hunt them down. So how will you feel, and what will you do with your time? So just really quickly, when you're a trusted advisor, how you feel and what you're going to do with your time. Just go ahead and type that into the chat box. Let's see what people are thinking about here. Fantastic. I look forward to helping others. Great. Confident and able to help more people. I will travel. Excellent. Excellent. That's great. All this stuff is great. There's a lot of stuff. Time to network more, giving back and mentoring. Great, wonderful, wonderful. Be it more time networking, mentoring, mentoring, helping, networking. That's great. That is exactly what happens. And I got an email earlier this week, someone I've known for many years. I sent a referral many weeks ago. It took some time for the two of them to connect. But earlier than that, I got this email. Just a quick note to thank you. I met with Frank yesterday for lunch in Chestnut Hill. After the meeting, I found myself saying silently, thanks, Andy. Frank is a perfect client for me. This just warms my heart. I love helping other people be successful. And in this case, I get a twofer because Frank really needed Suzanne's help. And Suzanne has room to take on more clients like Frank. And this, to me, is the best part of being a trusted advisor because you can help people, and they send you emails like this. Absolutely made my week. I love being a trusted advisor. So now, this is great. So good. Giving back and mentoring, been there. It's great. Spend more time. Feeling great. So you guys are doing some great things. You have some fun, cool things you want to do with your time. So that's excellent. And that's what I was able to do once I created this process for myself. All this free time, and I was able to go out and work for what I love. And, skiing and playing the piano and writing books, spending time with my family. So doing things that I really love doing. And someone said need to find the time. And again, what I teach in the training here in a second, what I'll tell you about, is how to get better results from what you're already doing, even if you don't think you're networking that much, because there are opportunities that you're not seeing. There are people that you know that are worth getting to know better. And the advanced training takes you step by step through how to develop that trust. So it's time to move on to the next part of the agenda, accelerating becoming a trusted advisor. I'm very excited to share this with you. It's something I've been very proud of developing and creating to help entrepreneurs and business people get better at networking, way to become a trusted advisor. And this formula is to do it all yourself. So I'm really excited to introduce becoming a trusted advisor. And this is my favorite thing that I've done because it helps so many people, like I've shared with you today, meet more people, expand their referral network, and get better leads and make lots more sales. So becoming a trusted advisor. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's included in this advanced training and how you can take action today on getting it right now. So it's a number of core video modules inside the members area where you get access immediately right when you invest and get signed up in a second. So this is just an overview of the 5 modules. And I'm going to talk through everything that's involved because there's core video modules plus transcripts and slides for each one and the worksheets. I'm going to tell you the importance of each one of these really quickly. I'm going to go over each one in a second. So, and again, it's worksheets and PDFs. They ask you very detailed questions for each thing, and you've got to fill them out. That's how you get the elevator pitch and the follow-up so you know what to say and do in any networking situation. So I'm going to share with you what that means in just a second. So training number 1, it's all about laying the foundation of trust. And that's all about starting conversation. If you don't like talking to people, maybe you just need to learn these few key phrases and questions to get the conversation started, and then some simple strategies to restart conversations before it gets awkward. Because probably you're okay once you're in a conversation with someone, right? The trick is how to walk up and get it started. My introvert client, Liz, found that, once she's using these techniques, she's not an outsider anymore. She's hanging out with people that she knows. Like conversations come much more easily, and she feels right where she wants to be. The beauty of being a trusted advisor, you're always meeting new people, and you have a core group of people that you love hanging out with. And so this module also takes you step by step through describing what you do. It's not nearly as complicated as people think. You just need a slightly different way to think about it. That 7-word thing is one way, but I have a couple of more advanced techniques that I teach in this advanced training about how to describe what you do in a way that gets other people interested in what you do. And so there's a worksheet, to say no matter what question you're asked, no matter where you are in networking, even if you've struggled with that for years. So training module 2, the vital networking follow-up process. So many people fail and make a lot of mistakes, thinking they can just show up to an event and get results. I'll show you how to pick the best event, the best way to use your time at the event, the biggest mistake people make with their business cards, how to get out of awkward conversations, and how to figure out who's wasting your time and who's a really good connection for you. So this module has the business networking worksheet, and this is so critical to make the most effective use of your time. Filling this sheet out ahead of time and bringing it with you, you'll be way ahead of 90% of the people who are at the event. So I go through all that. It's very powerful in training module number 2. Training module 3, look in depth at one-on-ones. This video is powerful. If you haven't heard of one-on-ones and you're getting maybe 10% of the value out of your business networking, in fact, if someone's considering quitting a networking group, I make them do this first. And when they use this process, they find so much hidden value in the other people that are already in the group that you couldn't pry them out of that group if you tried, right? So we'll show you how to pick the right people, when to schedule it, where to schedule it, what to say, and how to follow up. There's that follow up. Yes, you got to follow up again. And if you're part of any networking group, this is the most powerful and least understood technique for improving your results. So if you're part of a networking group, this video alone is worth the investment in this program. Training 4 is the 30-second elevator pitch. This is the real kicker, the way to engage an entire room full of people all at once. Introducing yourself to a room full of people is the fastest way to attract leads, as long as you're saying the right things in the right way. So in this module, I teach you how to market yourself effectively to a room full of people. Whether you attend chamber events or BNI meetings or meetups, luncheons, or I'll show you how to do it. If you've been using an elevator pitch for years, I'll show you how to make it even more productive. If you're just getting started, then we'll take you through it step by step from scratch. If you're not sure what to say when you're standing in front of the room, or if you're copying what other people say before you, right, we'll take you step by step through what to say to bring in leads. This module is for you. You're not going to get results unless you know how to do this. And last but definitely not least, training module 5 ties it all together. We'll show you how to make professional referrals and to create more opportunities. We'll talk about the circle of trust, how the shortest distance between two people is to someone they both trust, and the business networking process, which simply means that one-on-ones are the key to finding introductions and projects. And some people won't be part of your trusted advisor community, right? Some people you can develop trust with, some people you can't. And I'll show you the step-by-step process to figure out who is who. So you end up with a quality group of people who return your calls and send you good leads. Now, all the worksheets are included here. Everything you need. I've got these, the strategy worksheets and the business worksheets, the step-by-step. And if you prefer reading to watching videos, I also include all the transcripts of the program so you can go at your own pace. You can read it. You can read along with it. Whatever however you like to absorb the information. It also includes all the slides. So slides like the business networking process, like the circle of trust, so you can go back and review it. You can print these out and stick it on your wall above your desk so you can remember. Remember the key to business networking. How you create value for people and develop trust. So a lot of you may say, well, what if I have questions? And you're in serious luck, because not only are there private discussion boards in the members-only area, which I look at and respond to for anyone who's in the course, right? But anyone who signs up today gets a full hour of coaching with me. I can't believe I just offered that. A $250 value, but I'll happily do it for anyone who decides to invest in their business today. And you take the hour all at once or split up into 2 half-hour sessions, however it works best for you as you're learning the material. We can work on your elevator pitch. We can work on business networking strategy. We can talk about the groups you're talking about. Anything you want to use to help you keep moving forward is great. And as an additional thank you for being on the call today, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm offering a 1-month membership in my Trusted Advisor community. That's full unlimited access to my archive of recordings, all the webinars I've done, about 30 of them. And those aren't the freebie webinars like this one. They're hard-hitting advanced networking technique webinars, like how to maximize your chamber membership, going where your prospects are, networking on a tight budget, getting great leads from bad events. Any questions you've got, there's a webinar in there, and in the archive are also all my scripts, the word-by-word email script. What do you say to a prospect who doesn't return your calls? What's the best way to ask to schedule a one-on-one? What's a non-awkward way to check in with someone for no reason at all? I've written all these scripts. My clients and I have tested them, and the ones that are here are the best, that have the highest response rates. And that we test them to find the ones that are highly effective in the real world. So that's all in the archive. And one more thing, you also get access to 2 live members-only access webinars. Next month is Differentiate. It's jam-packed with advanced techniques. Sure, Differentiate starts with a great elevator pitch that sets you apart from any current or future competitor. But we're going to look at 3 techniques to widen that gap, to make sure you're the only person they think of, the only logical choice. So I don't usually promote these webinars. They're just for my fee-based monthly program, my Trusted Advisor community. But so you can't just sign up for these. But I'll give you a full month of it for people who invest in it today. So anyone who signs up today gets access to that. So is there a money-back guarantee for this? Yes. I mean, for myself, I don't believe in asking for refunds for stuff that I buy, because I find that if I apply myself, I'll easily make back my investment. It helps me take action. But what I have, 60-day money-back guarantee, 100% of your money back within 60 days if you do these 3 things. You complete all the worksheets in the trainings, right? Send them to me. Send me results from 3 networking events, right? That strategy worksheet I talked about, you send that in to me. 3 events over the next 2 months. I mean, you could do that next week if you wanted to. And then show me how you followed up, how you applied the follow-up. So if you show me all this, still want your money back, you got to complete the back. And if you don't complete the events, there's not money back. But you guys, I'm going to tell you, I've never had one person ask for a refund from this product because when people take action, if you're committed to it and you take action, you're going to get results. I can't say you're going to get the same results as me. I can't say you're going to make any type of particular money. I can't make any of those kinds of claims. I can just show you what I've done and what other people have done, and then it's up to you. It's up to you to get the results. So show me you completed the worksheets, show me you attended your events and did your follow-ups. I'll send you a full refund, no questions asked. Have to do those 3 things. Yep. So here's what you get. The core video modules, the 5 core video modules, $750 value right there. People love this course. It completely changes the way they approach their networking. It makes it fun and profitable. So there's the worksheets they have to fill out. Just watching the training isn't enough. I take you step by step through this, how to do this for yourself. And so create your own authentic, personalized elevator pitch, how to follow up without annoying people, how to set up one-on-ones, how to get access to the email and phone scripts, professional referrals, all that kind of stuff. So $175 for that. 60-minute coaching call with me, $250 value for that. This is like you're making money when you invest in this. We talk about your elevator pitch, or again, talking your strategy or your networking groups or whatever's most productive for you. And then you get the one-month advisor and trusted advisor community. Just the access to the archive, it's $99, and I'm throwing in those 2 additional live webinars, more like $325 altogether for the trusted advisor community. Very cool. So I'm putting in a value of just about $1,500 here, although it's way more than that because I charge $250 for an hour of time, and you get 5 hours of instruction plus the 60-minute call, plus the webinar archive, and on the webinars next month. So if you were going to take this by the hour, to be way more than $1,500. This is the value of this training. But today's price is only $500. So the price is usually $500. But since you're my most loyal followers, and you take incredible action takers, and you're committed to growth in your mindset, and you have such great value out of this, in value in investing in information, and getting results, I'm going to make today's price at $297. So again, incredible value in investment, what you're getting, and for those who take action, you're going to get some amazing results. So you already know if you're not happy, you get 60-day money-back guarantee. You do your homework, show me that you networked. So here's what I want you to do right now. We're going to get into the Q&A here in just a second. Do about 15 minutes of that. But I want you to go to improvandy.com/trust. Just go ahead and go to improvandy.com/trust. And there's going to be a buy for $497 button. Click that. Don't worry, that's not your discounted price yet. When you click that, this is the fun part. Now you get your own account. This is access. You get immediate access to our members-only area. It shows you where you are in the training, what you've accomplished. If you want accountability, you can do that too. Now, I don't know about you, but I have so many account names and passwords, just crazy. So I've teamed up with LinkedIn, and we're just using LinkedIn as a shortcut for logging in. We can't see anything about your account. We don't know what your password is. We don't know we can't see your connections. It's just so you don't have to come up with another username and password. So go ahead and create an account either with LinkedIn or the regular way, and then you'll see the summary page. And so, do you have a coupon? You bet you have a coupon. So go ahead and type in the coupon today is webinar. Then click the apply button. There's discounted price. And then you guys know the drill. This is take action right now. So I want to get you the information right now. I want to get you the bonuses, membership in the Trusted Advisor Community Program. So improvini.com/trust. We're going to go there right now. We're going to be doing this throughout the next 15 minutes. We're going to be doing Q&A here over the next 15 minutes. So, getting all this information to you, the core videos and the worksheets and the transcripts and the slides, plus the full hour of coaching, plus the Trusted Advisor community. You get everything you need to get better results from business networking. You're networking a lot or a little, just getting started. So, show you how to do it step by step. So I got some great questions. So let's go into the Q&A now, and just if you got questions, go ahead and start firing them away, and we'll do this. We'll keep doing this. So let's see. I just signed up for training recently. Kim, you signed up for the home study course, the elevator pitch. This takes it to the next level. The home study course is, again, the home study course, you can think about that as kind of the first skill and a half of what we're talking about here. That teaches you the elevator pitch and a little bit about follow-up. It's kind of the elevator pitch and kind of the beginnings of follow-up stuff. This program right here is my full advanced training. It's the full Trusted Advisor program. So great question for that. So that's great. So got some more questions coming in. I got a good question. What is a trusted advisor? And thank you for that question. I've been talking about that, and I'm not sure that I ever really talked about it. So, I talk to a lot of people in the financial industry. The people in the financial industry like to talk about themselves as trusted advisors. They say, talk to your trusted advisor. But the thing is that financial people, some are trusted advisors and some aren't. And the way I figure it out between folks is that a trusted advisor is somebody who knows other trusted advisors. So nothing's worse than getting referred to someone who won't take your call. I know Jenny talked about that earlier, that she got referred to someone and it just, the guy swore at her on the phone. I mean, that's not a good referral. That doesn't improve your trust with anyone. So trusted advisors are people who know other trusted advisors. They're people who have taken the time to develop the relationships, to know who they can trust. I actually did this a couple of weeks ago. I just had to update my website to get it mobile ready, and the guy I used to use wasn't available anymore. So I went to someone who's part of my trusted advisor network, and I said, hey, I got this. I need a mobile website. Do you know anybody who can do that? And he sent me the name, and I talked to him, and I loved him, and he did it for me. And that's the kind of thing. I was avoiding doing that because I just, doing website stuff is so hard. Like it's hard to manage the people, and it's hard to find someone good, and you don't really know whether they're any good. And I'm a computer guy. I'm trained as a computer guy, but still, for me, I don't have any idea. So working with the people. But it short-circuited the whole thing. Something I didn't know how to solve, and I was worried it was going to take months. Ended up taking 3 weeks. Right? I just talked to her, and it ended up taking 3 weeks. So to me, that's trusted advisor. And again, that woman Suzanne, who I sent Frank to her. Right? That's trusted advisor. Right? I was talking to Frank, and Frank is getting ready to retire, and he's not really sure. He's not really sure what that's going to mean. He's been working 80-hour weeks for 45 years, and he's not sure what retirement means. Like he's a little bit terrified of it. And Suzanne is a career coach. She helps people with this kind of transitional thing. And again, that was the question earlier. I've known Suzanne for years, which meant that when I met Frank and got talking to Frank, that I could make that connection, right? And so that's really what I'm talking about with the trusted advisor stuff. Another question coming in here: how are we as service providers different from those product sellers who also build good relationships? Tom, I'm jealous of people who have products, because if you have a product, you have something physical. You can show people. You can show a picture of the product. There's all sorts of cool things you can do with the product. When you sell a service, it's a little bit harder to make it make sense. But I will tell you that most of the people that I work with are service providers. Right? When you look at people who are doing this, a lot of them are service providers, because that's when you need to kind of build this trust. If you're selling a product, there's kind of less. The product, and again, I mean, the answer I think is there's really no difference. But in the advanced training, we go through it for all, no matter what you're selling. And some people like myself, I just published my book. So I'm selling a product now in addition to my services. Like there's a lot of different things going on. But again, in the advanced training, we take you step by step through building relationships. And I don't think there's a difference between service and product, except that with product you can actually bring pictures of the thing that you're selling, and with service you have to do it more conversationally. And so that's a great. I was reading a great thing online the other day that said if you're selling software as a service, one of those online software things, you just need people to sign up for a free trial, right? I mean, why would you try to describe it? The only thing you need to describe is say, hey, go to this website and sign up for a free trial. See it for yourself, right? You don't need to talk about anything. Just make them try it. And again, for service providers, I think the challenge is it's hard to let people try it. Like that's really hard. So again, that's what this product is built around. When you have a product to sell, you're a B2C, and when you provide a service, you're a B2B. Well, okay. I mean, I'm willing to kind of think that's true, but you can sell products to businesses too. I mean, you may be selling them more wholesaling than retailing. You can sell services to people, right? I mean, my window cleaning business, I'm really selling a service. Like, there's not much. I can show people a picture of a clean window, but that's not really, that's not really a product kind of thing, and that's a very B2C. Well, I mean, that actually has both B2C and B2B, just depending on who you're selling to. So I'm not sure I agree that products are always consumer market based. I mean, there's a lot of products out there that are business focused, and there are a lot of services out there that are consumer focused. So I think so. Thanks Tim for that insight. But I think that it does happen more generally than that. Okay, I think it's yeah. So good. I mean, and this is in the advanced training. This is the kind of stuff we talk about. Like, okay, so I've got a product. So what do I want to do with that? How does it fit in with the services that I offer? All that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff we talk about in this advanced training. And so another question coming in. I'm looking to fit my business with the right kinds of clients. Okay, yeah. So look, I mean, you're just attracting people. If they're the wrong people, then then go over to improv.com/trust, get signed up right now, because that you can fix that, right? The interesting thing about the elevator pitch is if you're getting a response that you don't like, you change what you say to get a better response. And again, I talked it through. My instincts are pretty good. So, but even when I work with people, and that's why I include the coaching with this program. You go through and you develop something, then you got to go out and try it out. See how people think about it. And a lot of people too, they try their elevator pitch out with their mom or with their grandma or with something. And unless you're actually selling into that market, they're not a customer. I mean, your mom's not going to give you feedback like you need, right? And you need to go out and see how this works with other business people. And so again, part of this process is you develop something and you go out to your networking events, you try it out. That's a great time to call me and say, hey, this is what I was saying, this is what happened, and we can tune it right up. Doesn't take a lot of time. With the products, another thing coming through with the product, even software, you could talk about it, not me. Yes, and a lot of and a lot of the focus that I use with the elevator pitch, again, I go through this in detail in the advanced training. It's how to focus it on it, right? I mean, people get confused. They think their elevator pitch is about who they are, right? Because when you're a solopreneur, that can be it's easy to confuse that. And so that's something that we're looking at. So yes, I think it is easier to talk about it. And again, the process that I worked you through in the advanced training, it does help with that. Just a second, someone sent me a private question, so let me respond to that quickly. And again, as you have questions, just keep typing them in. So again, keep bringing your questions in. Okay, so so I got someone who pays for my advice and then ignores it. So first what I'll say is congratulations. Congratulations on getting them to pay for the advice. I mean, that's usually the thing that's tough, right? How do you get people to pay for the advice? And I know for myself, I mean, as I said earlier, if I pay for advice, then that's an easier that I tend to follow it, because why am I following it? But maybe you aren't developing enough trust that they think you can take it to the next level, and that's the thing. I mean, the trust, the trust we're talking about today is trust, just getting to know people, getting to know people in the networking environment. But there's also trust with your clients, and building that kind of trust. And so that's kind of a separate thing, but that's the way that works. So let's see, other questions coming in. We got just a couple more minutes. I want to try to get you guys out of here. So a couple more minutes. See some people have already bought. So welcome to the program. That's very exciting. welcome to the program. That's great. And if anyone else gets signed up, I get about 5 minutes left to do that. So let's go. Let's see. Oh, we've got one more thing coming in. Let's see. So how do I know when my elevator pitch is right? That's a great question. Well, in advanced training, I take you step by step through the two kinds of elevator pitches in 3 different networking situations, and show you how to figure out exactly what you want to say. And it is true that your elevator pitch is something you keep working on it. I mean, I even work on it. I work on my own. I mean, I'm always looking for new techniques and new things to say. And I mean, the cool thing, people ask, well, do I need different elevator pitches? And I don't recommend that. I mean, I think you can be all set with a single elevator pitch, because once you kind of get the thing that does what you want it to do, that's all you need. And so that's kind of, there's kind of good value in that. But so you got to talk to real people and kind of see what their reaction. I tell a good story about how Drew Carey stalked me for a while, because I used to mention the word improvisation in my elevator pitch, and all anyone wants to talk about in here improvisation is Drew Carey, and has nothing to do with elevator pitch coaching. So again, I changed what I say to stop having that kind of result. Okay, seems like the questions are kind of slowing down, so I'll give a minute. So so in just a minute we'll go into the in just a second, I'll pick the winners of that coaching thing. So just give me a second. I'm looking back through, look through the people. Oh, such a great job. You know what? So I can't pick just one. So Judith, Christina, and Connie, you are the winners of the 30-minute coaching call. And what you do is just go ahead and shoot me an email at winning@improv-india.com, and we'll get you set up. I look forward to talking to you. So once again, Judith, Christina, and Connie, you are the winners of the call. So congratulations. And I want to leave this open. I want to leave this open for another minute or two for if anyone else wants to sign up. If you're just sitting on the fence, then go ahead. This is what we're doing now. Great. Okay, so things seem to be slowing down. So thank you very much, everyone. I've loved working with you today. Thanks for being on the call and working with this material and being so engaged and active. I wish you all the success with your business networking, and whether you signed up today or not, just let me know as you go on in your business networking. Let me know how I can be of help. So again, thanks everyone. Happy networking, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.